Thy name is my healing. Oh, my God.
There was an Egyptian merchant named Abdul Karim, who had a burning desire to visit the Holy Land and enter the presence of Baha'u'llah. So he wrote for permission to visit the Holy Land. Baha'u'llah answered that he could come on pilgrimage, but under one condition. First he had to pay all his debts. Now Abdul Karim had a very large business, but also many debts. This is why, as soon as he received Baha'u'llah's answer, he instantly began to pay the money he owed to his creditors. 5 years later, all his debts were paid, but his business shrank, and Abdul Karim was no longer a rich man. He bought a ticket on a boat to the Holy Land, but could not afford to travel in comfort. In fact, he remained on deck and could hardly keep himself warm from the chill of the wind. Finally, he arrived in Haifa and came off the boat carrying only a few possessions. Sadly, nobody was there to greet him. Abdul Karim sat on a bench drowned in sorrow. Unwanted thoughts kept creeping into his head. Why? He managed to pay all his debts. He sacrificed his business, only to find himself in a strange land with no one to turn to. Had Baha'u'llah completely forgotten him? Well, here is what actually happened. Baha'u'llah of course knew that his guest had arrived and sent a carriage to the port to pick up the respected merchant. But the man who went looking for Abdul Karim was expecting a wealthy guest, not a poorly dressed man who left the boat. So he went back and reported that the guest had not arrived. This time, Baha'u'llah asked his son Abdul Baha to go to Haifa and bring the respected merchant to his presence. When Abdul Baha arrived at the port, he immediately recognized that the lonely man sitting on the bench was in fact the honored guest. It was now late, and night was falling. However, because of all the previous bitter thoughts, Abdul Karim was not ready to enter the presence of Baha'u'llah. He deeply desired to spend the night in prayer and meditation, to prepare himself spiritually for the great bounty that awaited him. Abdul Baha, of course, understood this, so he sat on the bench by Abdul Karim and wrapped his long cloak around him, so they would both have some protection from the cold. They prayed all night long, and in the morning, Abdul Karim, purified and filled with joy, appeared before Baha'u'llah and received a plentiful share of divine love and bounty.